Today we are making pumpkin swirl mini cheesecakes for all of you pumpkin lovers out there. So our first step is to crush up 7 sheets of graham crackers, and each sheet is this size. So I have 7 of them in my food processor that I've already pulsed, together with half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 2 tablespoons of sugar, so it's all nice and mixed. And here I have 4 tablespoons of butter, unsalted butter that I've melted. I'm just going to add this into here and mix it up, and then I'll show you the next step. So you want to preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is what the mixture looks like once it's finished. And I'm going to use a tablespoon and put a tablespoon's worth inside each one of these cups. I have these foil-lined baking cups that I put in my muffin tin. And I apologize for the appearance of my tin. It's old, it's used, it's not dirty, it's washed. It's just how it looks because it gets used. And what I like to do is use my rolling pin and tamp down the crumb mixture into the bottom just to flatten it out. But if you don't have a rolling pin like mine, you can either try to find something that'll help you do that, or you can use your spoon or even your fingers. You just want to press it down into the bottom and do all 12 of them. So for our next step, you're going to take 2 8-ounce packages or 16 ounces of cream cheese, and you're going to beat it either in a stand mixer or with a handheld mixer. You want to beat it for about 3 minutes on medium-high speed just to get it nice and smooth. Before you start, you want to make sure that your cream cheese is at room temperature, because if it's cold, it's not going to whip up. You're going to get lumps in it. So make sure that you take out your cream cheese well before you're ready to start making the recipe. Now that I've beaten it, I'm going to add 2/3 cups of white granulated sugar and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm going to beat this together, and then I'll show you the next step. So next you're going to add 2 eggs, one at a time. The recipe calls for large eggs. I usually have extra large eggs, and I find that it's really not an issue, so I'm using 2 extra large eggs. I'm going to beat them in one at a time. Okay, so periodically you want to take your spatula, rubber spatula, and scrape down the side just to make sure you get everything incorporated and mixed in. Now that everything's mixed in, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of sour cream, and I'm going to mix that together, and then I'll show you our next step. Okay, so now I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm going to spoon about half of my cream cheese mixture into here. I'm going to divide it evenly amongst all of these, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so now for the pumpkin part, you're going to take 1/3 cup of pumpkin puree, and you're going to add to that 2/3 cups of the cream cheese mixture that we just made, and I have that in the bowl already. And here I have 1/2 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. You can use just regular grated nutmeg. You don't have to do the fresh, but I prefer to use a fresh whole nutmeg. I have 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose white flour. And now I'm going to use a spatula to combine all of this together, make sure it's all incorporated, and then I'll show you our next step. Okay, so now I'm going to use a spoon, and I'm going to spoon about half of my cream cheese mixture into here. I'm going to divide it evenly amongst all of these, and then I'll show you the next step. So I put about a tablespoon into each cup, and now I'm going to add approximately a tablespoon of the pumpkin mixture on top of the regular cream cheese mixture, and then we're going to put the rest of the cream cheese mixture on top of the pumpkin mixture. So now I'm just spooning the regular cream cheese mixture over the pumpkin cream cheese mixture just to cover it up. I'm going to use up the rest of the regular cream cheese mixture. So this is what they look like after I've placed the pumpkin mixture. And you want to have some left over because we're going to use this to make a pretty design on top. Okay, so now this is the fun part. You're going to take a little bit of the pumpkin mixture. You're going to make like 3 dots, about a 1/4 teaspoon size. I don't know if I can do this with the camera watching me. 3 dots. And then you're going to use either a skewer, a wooden skewer, or a toothpick, or a knife. And you're going to make swirls. Just make any design that you like. Have fun with it. No pressure. Okay guys, so I'm finished swirling my pumpkin cheesecake, mini pumpkin cheesecakes, and I have some of the pumpkin mixture left over. Don't know why, but they're pretty full. I'm going to put them in my 300-degree oven for about 27 to 30 minutes, and I'll show you them when they're done. So here they are, our finished mini cheesecakes. You want to let them cool overnight in the refrigerator. I leave them in the tin, and you can cover them so they don't dry out on the top. And I hope you guys enjoy.